Again, I welcome to you, students. Now, I am going to tell you a propensity to save or propensity to saving. As we have discussed that propensity to consumption means tendency to expend money. Here it is propensity to saving or propensity to save means tendency or habit of people to save the money. How much money of our income we wanted to save or in practice we save, that is called tendency. What is our tendency? Natural tendency. It is our natural tendency that we want to save the money to meet the need of future. So if we have more tendency to save, it is called tendency to save. If we are in a nature to expend money, not to save, it is called the person have no tendency to save. Propensity means tendency. So here we are to discuss propensity to saving or propensity to save. Here it is for the whole economy. We are studying in microeconomics. It means it shows the tendency of people in an economy. What is the tendency of people of an economy? Whether it is tendency to expend on consumption or it is tendency to save. So tendency to save means, propensity to save means tendency of people to save their money from their income. Up tendency or propensity is divided again into two parts, average and marginal. What is the proportion? How much proportion of our income we tend to save, we have to practice to save, that is our average propensity to save. Mathematically again it is calculated by aggregate saving or total saving upon total income or national income. For an economy, total saving in an economy upon total income of an economy or national income of an economy. It is shows average propensity to save. As individual level, my income is rupees 1000. I have saved rupees 200. What is my tendency? APS, average propensity to save, S upon Y, aggregate saving 200 upon 1000, income 0.2. It is 0.2. Now, tendency of saving with increasing part of income or changing part of income, that is called MPS or marginal propensity to save. It is calculated by the proportion of delta S or change in saving upon change in national income or change in aggregate income. As my salary has been increased and it becomes rupees 1500, what is the changes? 500 income has been changed or increased, and my saving was rupees 200, now I have saved rupees 700. What is the change in my saving? My saving has increased by 500. Earlier I have saved rupees 200, now I have saved rupees 700. Now, what is the change in saving? Rupees 500. 500 upon change in income. 500. 500 upon 500 is equal to 1. My NPS is 1. What I have done in my aggregate income, I have spent most of the income in consumption expenditure. I have saved only rupees 200, but for the increasing part of my income, I have saved all the money. All the income what was increased, I have saved all those income. So my NPS becomes 1 because whatever changes, whatever increase in income was increased rupees 5,000, all the increased income is saved by myself. So there, because it is human tendency, suppose I have to purchase any costly thing, now it is essential to save that extra money. That's why I have increasing part of my income, I have total increasing part of my income has been saved by myself. It is, that's why NPS shows change in income, proportion of change in saving with change in income. So it is your APS and MPS. Now I am going to part of aggregate supply to find out the relationship between APS and APC, MPS and NPC. Relationship between APS and APC, MPS and NPC. Then we will discuss the investment multiplier. Aggregate supply that is also denoted by national income Y. It has two components, consumption expenditure plus saving. This means Y is equal to C plus S. Consumption expenditure C and saving S. This equation is divided by Y. C upon Y plus S upon Y. 1 is equal to, this C upon Y is APC and this S upon Y is equal to APS. It means sum total of APC and APS is equal to 1. It is a relationship. On the other way, when we have Y is equal to C plus S, delta Y, change in income, is equal to change in consumption expenditure plus change in saving. Delta Y divided by delta Y is equal to delta C upon delta Y plus delta S upon delta Y. This is equal to 1 is equal, this is called MPC and this is called MPS. Again, the relationship between MPC and MPS, MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. So children, we have to remember these two formulas for mathematical solution or numerical solution. APC plus APS is equal to 1 and MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. It means, what does it mean? MPC delta C upon delta Y. MPC lies maximum value 1 This means MPC lies between 0 to 1, and this also means MPS lies between 0 to 1. Now what we have taken the example, MPS, value of MPS has come 1, because all the income, when all the increased income is saved by ourselves, then MPS becomes 1 and this MPC becomes 0. And if all the increased income or change income is consumed, then change in saving or increase in saving becomes 0, then MPS becomes 0. So this value of this, from this equation, MPC and MPS lies between 0 to 1. In the same thing, if our income has two parts, consumption and saving, if we expend all the income on consumption expenditure, it means saving becomes 0, then MPS becomes 0 and APC becomes 1. If all the income is saved by ourselves, consumption expenditure becomes 0, it means APS becomes 1 and APC becomes 0. But here we have to think, our consumption expenditure never be 0. Whether we have income or not, C is equal to small a plus small cy, this autonomous consumption expenditure. Okay, thank you. This autonomous consumption expenditure never makes the C0 and APC never be 0. So let us just we discuss in another section. Thank you for watching.